We've had an incredible start to the season and sit third in the table after 12 games. Stefan Mitrovic continued his fine start to the season by scoring the first of 3 goals in a great win over 9th place Troyes to cement our 3rd place heading into international break, where 8 of our players were on duty. It was great to see so many of our players getting minutes, and notably Aziz Yakubu scoring a hat-trick for Ghana. However, the mood dropped when Stefan Mitrovic wanted a new contract. Just because he scored 1 more goal than last season, he suddenly thinks he's a world beater. So I asked him if we could set some targets, meet them, and we'll discuss a new contract. However, he took offence to that, and when I said I wouldn't back down, he told me he's going to consider his options. Although he has another 2.5 years left on his contract, so I'm not too worried. I am worried though about losing Aziz Yakubu for over a month to the African Cup of Nations, especially as if Brian Moreno gets injured, we're pretty stuck. And so a 0-0 draw against Monaco on paper looks good, but we had chances to win it that Yakubu would have taken. Fortunately, Moreno did score past Lorient, and so did Anan. Twice in fact, in the closing moments of the game to give us an important 3-0 win. However, despite taking the lead against Lens, they pulled one back to earn a draw in a game, truth be told, they were the better side. Our worst fears were then confirmed as Brian Moreno picked up an injury and would miss the next game against 2nd place Nice. We played Anan up top, but he didn't have a great game, and despite Busio scoring his first goal for the club, we fell to a 2-1 defeat. But in our final game before the winter break, we thrashed Auxerre 4-0 at home as Mitrovic scored a brace and my favourite player Gianluca Busio scored his 2nd goal for the club. So heading into today's episode, we sit 4th in the table, 9 points off the top and 1 point ahead of 6th place Nantes. Our superb season hasn't gone unnoticed as I turned down 3 job interviews at other clubs. Also, our youth intake preview doesn't look as strong as previous seasons, but we could still get 1 or 2 stars, which we may need as heading into January, clubs are circling for Belic and Gonçalo Esteves, who reportedly would be interested in a move away from the club. So you join me on the 29th of December, and apparently these players have got contracts expiring at the end of the season. Sissoko down, I'm happy to let these guys go, so I'm going to set these guys for release. Ahmed and Dilou Batim Sika, they will lead the club either at the end of their contracts or this January. I think I'll offer these guys out to try and make some money. Finally, we've got a whole bunch of youth contracts expiring as well, and these players are never going to be good enough for our first team, so I'm just going to Control A to select all of them and set for release. All our good young players are currently in the 2nd team, and we are going to see a bit of them in today's video as we're going to play them in the cup against this team called Saint Raphael. Also, Koba has been named the French football revelation of the season for a 2nd season in a row. Did he win it last season? If I can click on he won it last season as well, so Koba is just amazing apparently. I'm going to put my arm around him and say congratulations on your award. But now it is the 1st of January, and this is where I'm starting to expect bids for Esteves and Belic to come in. We do have the option to change our season expectations from a top half finish to qualifying for the Conference League or the Europa League, but it doesn't really give us much extra budget in any area, so I think we'll just leave it at top half finish so the board don't get cross with me if we don't qualify for Europe. So here come the bids. We knew it was going to happen. 2nd of January is pretty early. Crystal Palace, £9 million rising to £12 million for Belic. He's value between 8 and 9. So it's above market value. Also 20% of profit from next sale. It might be silly to say no, really. However, I think we could get more for him, so I'm going to reject it initially. Also, Leicester making a bid for Jose Fontan, rising to £14 million. I'd rather not lose him because he's very good for us, and actually he doesn't want to join Leicester, who are currently playing in the Premier League, so they're 15th right now. He would do a good job for them. So there's a chance we could get this closer to 20 million. And if that is the case, I would be tempted. However, we'd have to be able to bring someone else in, and there's not a whole lot of quality available right now. The best option we have fully scouted out right now is Guindo from Stuttgart, and physically very good. But if we compare him to Jose Fontan, he's just not quite as good. Fontan better defensively and going forward. There's also an option of Geese Smal, or Small. He plays for Lille right now. And again, he's not quite as good as Fontan. Would cost us £50 million and a whole bunch of wages more than Fontan as well. So right now, we don't have a good enough left back scouted out we could go and get this January. So I'm going to say no to this, even though it would be tempting to get him gone for 20 million. West Brom also an Ahmed on loan for nothing. Reject that. If he's going to go, it's a permanent sale. Oh, and this is frustrating. Hugo Nova has been recalled because he wasn't playing enough football. So now we've got a bit of an issue at right wing. And an issue with Belic, of course, because he couldn't go to Crystal Palace. Discuss the issue with Belic then. We couldn't let you go because it's not a big enough offer for you. He says, what is it going to take for me to be sold? And he said 11.25. I think we need more. We need more like 20, if I'm honest with you. And he's not going to be happy with this at all. He doesn't agree to that. He comes back and says 11.75. I could even say 15 million and he just won't be happy. He says 12.25. We're not going to agree on a price here at all. So he's cross. I'm unhappy. It's not ended well. If we get a good bid for him, yes, I would happily let him go and make some profit on him. But it's got to be at least 15 million. But I am more prepared for losing Belic and Gonzalo Estevez. Right now, we've got tons of right backs and CDMs being scouted out. And finally, before we actually play a game today, a £500,000 bid has come in for Dylan Batu-Benfica from Valladolid. I think we'll accept that, try and get some money for him now, but he might go to Boa Vista for nothing at the end of his contract. And no one wants Ahmed, so I guess he'll stay with us for the rest of the season. Right, now we can get ready for the game against 4th Division Saint Raphael in the Cup. Because they are in the 4th Division, we're going to play some of our players with high potential from the B team. It might be easy to look on this screen actually. We've got Arnaud in goal, who played in last episode. He's got 5-star potential. We've got right back Malamba and centre back Cisse. They're 17 and 16. 4.5 stars of potential. Also, remember Rayan Bukabida from season 1? He played right back a few times for us. Turns out he's got a left foot, so we're playing him at left back today with his 4-star potential. We're also playing Joel Koulibaly at left centre mid. He's got 4-star potential. Arthur Coste's got 4-star potential starting as a striker. And then we've got a bunch of players on the bench with potential. Centre back Canute and wingers/strikers Muller and Matayu on the bench as well. Oh, apparently Canute suspended, so I guess we'll take him off the bench and put Jesus Vallejo on. Right, apologies it's taken so long to get to a game, but I love the admin of Football Manager sometimes, and there was a lot to go through today, but we are finally playing a cup game. If we don't win this, it's not the end of the world. You know, I'd rather focus on the league, really. The cup comes as a second priority to us now, but it would be nice to stay in this as long as possible to make sure some of our younger players get some first team exposure, even if it is against a 4th division team, for example, as they look to come forward for the first highlight of the game as Calvert gets the ball to his centre-back partner, but we've made an interception there, and Nan is playing at right wing today. He's usually at right wing for us, and his shot from distance is just over the bar. Not quite the best decision making with that one, I don't think, but there we go. We've now got a free kick in a dangerous area, and who is taking this one for us when it wants to eventually show us his name on the screen, or we just click on him instead? Arnie Meyer is taking the free kick from distance. I think he's shaping up to shoot here. Go on, lad. He's only gone and scored it. His first goal for the club, and what a banger that is. This is just inch perfect top corner. With a few moments to go before half-time, though, we are bringing the ball forward as Joel Koulibaly tackle, but Ahmed gets the ball, gives it to Costi, and he scores the goal. You love to see it. His first senior goal for the club. He scored plenty in the B team right now, but his first goal for the first team. It's probably not actually pronounced Costi, is it? It's probably just pronounced Cost, but, you know, I'm English, so it's my job to get everything pronounced wrong. Oh, and could we get a third goal just before half-time? Joel Koulibaly gives it to Meyer into Cost, who shoots from distance. It almost goes in the back of the net thanks to a deflection. So good first half there. Everyone looks pretty happy at half-time. We will make some changes to bring some other youngsters on the pitch. And Anan and Busio, first team players, are on 6.6 ratings right now, which is not a good look for them. In fact, most of the players we've promoted, like Cost and Koulibaly, for example, are doing a great job. Even Koulibaly in defence, who's in our first team or a backup player, is playing today. He's got a 7.1 rating right now. He's having a good game. It's the first team regulars, apart from Arnie Meyer, because he got his goal, of course, who aren't doing much, and that is concerning as Busio brings the ball forward. He's got a Nan in front of him who may have just been offside there, but the linesman's not put his flag up. He delivers a cross into Busio, who loses possession. Not a great bit of play from either of those two. I think we'll take them off in a moment's time for some youngsters, although I don't think we've got a young centre mid on the bench actually, so we'll probably give Busio over 90 minutes anyway to get some match sharpness into him and some much needed game time, as we almost concede a goal. This 4th division team do look a bit dangerous. So with that being said and done, Matayu, we're going to put you up top, and then Muller actually can't play right wing. Can Matayu play right wing? He can't, annoyingly. However, Ahmed can, so we'll swap him and Anan over, and then we'll take Anan off for Muller. And actually, they're the only two youngsters on the bench right now, so I think we'll probably leave the rest of the team as it is because everyone else on the bench is the first team regular. So Muller looking to get his first touch on a highlight, can't get it there, and it's actually the opposition bringing the ball forward. They've got it through the defence, and Arnaud makes a superb save. He will be our future number one. One thing I don't have in Football Manager though is patience, and I want these players who are 16, 17 years old to already be like 5-star current ability, getting them in the first team. It's going to take time, but we are trying to develop them in the right way, and doing it the right way is slowly, unfortunately. In the meantime, Bukabida gives the ball away, and the opposition can't get ahead because Arnie makes a great challenge, and Mateu's shot from distance hits the post, goes out of play for a goal kick. Would have been great for him to score a goal on his first team debut as well. But with 10 minutes to go, it does look like we are going to be progressing into the next round. Hopefully we have another team from the lower league so we can play our youngsters again. But overall, a superb game that one. Nice work everyone, well done. Annan will miss the next game as well because he's now got 3 yellow cards in his last 10 matches. So that might give a chance for more youngsters to play, as Costa apparently becomes the youngest ever goal scorer for Saint Etienne. Wow. Wow, the previous record was in 1978. More loans for some of our youngsters coming in. They're playing in the 3rd division, but they're all fringe player, and Muller is good enough for the... Okay, he's a 4th division player, basically, so actually wouldn't even suit him that well. Oh, and now Brian Moreno wants a new contract. You're not going to get it at all. We're going to try and sell him in summer. He's good backup to have this season, but going forward, he's not the player we need. Basically, we can't afford it right now. And actually, he says, yes, that's fine. But his days at the club are numbered. Cup 10th round draw at the moment. 34 teams go into it, so we'll just skip past it quickly. And we've been drawn against Caen, who play in the 2nd division. Like I say, I'm not too fussed about the cup. So I think we'll probably play youngsters again and just see how they can perform against a team better than them. Also, Lazio now making a bid for Fontan. He has an interest in speaking to Lazio, so this could be more tricky when we say no because we can't negotiate this offer and it's not good enough. We'll say no. And Fontan's not come back saying he's upset, but Leicester apparently want him even more. Oh, now the Strasbourg manager's upset because we've not played Akim Zadeka enough in this first half of the season. I'm going to say he's not shown the levels required to be a regular starter because that is true. And he says, nice talking to you, I hope I see you again soon. That seems very passive-aggressive. Is that good or bad? Oh, Batu Benfica is leaving. He's decided to take the Valladolid option, which gives us £500,000. Okay, Dylan, that's actually very kind of you. Thank you for earning the club a bit of money. However, it does leave us a little bit light at centre-back. And lacking a vice-captain, I think what we'll do is promote probably Belic to that role. The issue we only have £800,000 and we're overspending on wages by £15,000 a week as well. There aren't many options for £800,000 to buy. So we may need to get some cover in the loan market, and Rafa Marin could be an option for us at Real Madrid. It's actually a pretty cheap loan for us, and as a squad player, that's quite handy. If we can just go to ball-playing defender and lock that in, suggest terms, they want a bit more money because of that, so that's fine by me. That should be good enough cover in case Jesus Vallejo gets injured. Thinking about it, we also need that cover on the right wing. We need an inside forward, and everyone here is listed as a winger until we get down to Tunde here at Rennes, who, is 3rd division level, is not good enough. Although we tried to sign this guy on loan, didn't we, in January, and it sort of bugged out and we can never actually get him signed. Maybe transfer, make an offer, loan, squad player, optional future fee of 2.4 million. That's fair enough because we don't have to pay it. Squad player is fine. Inside forward, let's lock that in. Wages, 100%, it's a bit pricey, but we have to do it, I suppose, for the cover in case someone gets injured. Monthly playing fee, they're going to put it up, I think, a little bit here. They do, £49,000 if he plays, £94,000 if he doesn't. And this then becomes very expensive quite quickly. We could pay up to £600,000 to have this guy on loan. Paul Wanner, instead at PSG, transfer, make an offer, loan. They're even more expensive. João Marquez hasn't got a left foot, but is he cheap? Because I could make an exception there. He's not very cheap. So actually, this guy's the best option right now. So we'll just go back to the loan, inside forward, lock it in, accept demands. sort it. Rafa Marin is here though, the centre-back, you love to see it. Here come the bids for Gonçalo Esteves. We knew they'd come. This is nowhere near good enough. £18 million at most. He's valued at least 17, up to 25. He's not interested in going to the club actually, so we're going to reject this. And hopefully bigger bids come in if we're going to sell him. Although saying that, hang on. I swear that says, maybe it said he was interested in going then, because now he's not very happy. Discuss the issue with Gonçalo then. Let's say we need to get a better deal for you. And he says £25 million is reasonable. I'm going to say 32.5 and see what he comes back with. He says 26. If we say 28.5, he says 27. 27.5. I'd happily do that. But the bids that have come in are not good enough, so we're going to reject these. This time we do get our man to be a backup winger for us, so that's another backup player coming in, which is what we need. And now we have to take on... And now we've got Khan in the cup. We're going to keep as many youngsters on the pitch as possible, but Annan, of course, is suspended. So he'll swap over with Ahmed, and then we'll bring Matayu on the left wing. Joel Koulibaly, though, has apparently already played a game today for some... I don't know why no one else has, but Joel has apparently. So we'll get him off the pitch, and we'll put Koba on in the middle. And we may need to schedule a friendly as well after this, just to get some match fitness into our actual first team players, because sharpness is not looking good. So today's episode is going to be long. We're only on our second game right now, and I've been recording for 40 minutes, which is not a good sign for the length of the episode, at least if you prefer short episodes. If you love long episodes, then maybe you are massively enjoying this one. So you know what? Make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Would love to have you around for more Saint Etienne content and any sort of journeys we go on in the future as well. I'm enjoying this channel quite a lot, actually. It's sort of, I don't know, in the main channel, I love the main channel and where it goes and the growth it has on there. It's superb. But I do miss these kind of like let's play sort of videos which are fun to make and sort of get you engrossed in a story. Or a more long-term story, because I think all the main channel videos are stories in their own right, but they're just 15, 20-minute long stories, if that. I think I would prefer to make those videos a bit longer, but I think trying to keep people interested for longer than they actually are can be a little bit tricky sometimes, and to make sure you are always putting the best content forward and making sure that people aren't clicking off, that it gets a bit boring. The shorter videos just work out a bit better, maybe. I don't know. Maybe there's a bit of tweaking to be done on those potentially at some point. But we are looking to try and score the opening goal of the game here, as Rayan Bukabida's cross has been blocked. Can he get another one in the middle? He eventually wins the ball back after losing it, and he's still on possession, finds Arnie Meyer, who was great in that previous game. And Meyer, wow, what a run into the penalty area, gets and loses possession immediately. That's quite poor from him, and Khan looked to bring the ball away, but Ahmed gets instead in the way, and Busio can take his shot and eventually score the goal to open up the scoring. Corner from Koba being sent into the middle. It's been cleared only as far as Costa sent it back to Koba. His attempted ball back in the middle has been blocked, but he takes the shot instead, hits the crossbar, and Matayu really should have finished that one off, but instead made a meal of it. But looking at the match stats, Khan have had more shots, higher XG, more possession, so clearly they are the better team right now because we are playing such a mixed team full of youngsters. But we've got the result on the board right now as Rayan Bukabida, go on lad. Oh, I thought I'd just scored his goal. I thought the keeper pushed it into his own net there, but Bukabida's shot parried wide for a corner, which of course Koba will be taking. The revolution of the year, twice in a row in Ligue 1. The revolution can't put a good cross in the middle though. And now 30 minutes on the clock, Khan will be thinking they can get something out of this game, but they've not scored yet. They'll be getting more and more frustrated as time goes on without scoring, but they've got a good attack right now, and Arno has been beaten. And this may just put some wind in their sails, although Busio's ball to Cost is good. I thought he was offside, but apparently not. He does lose possession though, unfortunately. And the better players of Khan can bring it forward as they try to skin Malamba at right back. But he keeps up with his man, forces the pass backwards, but then gets the wrong side of him, allows him to run through, but Arno is forced to make a decent save. So obviously this work a lot of these youngsters can do. You can see they're making a few little mistakes there, like Malamba getting the wrong side of his man, not being focused enough maybe to keep tracking with him, to stop the second ball coming through. Even though he did do a good job to keep up with him in the first instance, he just needs to keep that focus going forward as Khan tries something clever from the set piece here. Oscar, edge of the area, finds Bain, but he does keep possession. I thought he was about to get tackled there. Instead, Khan can bring it down this near side, cross into the far post. Cisse clears it, and now Ahmed can bring it forward for us. Can we grab the second goal of the game to take? No, apparently not. Okay, So half-time, 1-1. Khan have been the better team, as we've mentioned. Only 37% possession for us, not great. And Ahmed's picked up a knock, so we may look to swap him out. So let's swap him and Cost over, who can play right wing, and that means we'll bring Muller on up top. But that does mean we are playing, I think, 3 16-year-olds up top for us right now, and they may not get the job done as Khan have made it 2-1. Let's go a bit more positive with our stance, and we're going to shout encourage to the team out there, hopefully just sort of G them on, give them the words they need to go and win this game. But once again, Khan have possession and they're looking pretty good as they bring it forwards, and I think Cissé's got himself sent off. Well, that's game over, isn't it, really, there, I'm afraid. So what we may do in this situation is sacrifice maybe Meyer, actually, and then we'll bring on Marsa. Drop our wingers back here to be just a winger on support, and we'll have an inverted winger on support over here. Although that does mean swapping Muller and Mathieu over because they prefer those roles. And actually maybe Koba drops back, and so does Busio a little bit as well. Try and keep defensively solid, but also try to counter-attack at the same time. It worked a few episodes ago for us, but we also were winning at that point in time as well. So I don't think we're going to be able to turn this one around, particularly with the youngsters being on the pitch. But, you know, it's a learning curve for them. That's exactly what we're trying to do with this situation. I'm not too fussed about trying to win the cup this season. Maybe in a few seasons' time I will do, but right now I'd rather focus on the league to get European football. For us, that's more important. And so as the clock ticks down, can't do win, but I think our youngsters put out a good performance. But it does also show there's a long way for them to go. So in the week it's taken to get to this Reims game, nothing's happening. No transfer bids for any of our players, which is kind of nice. Although I would like to get £20 million for one of our players. That would make a big difference. But it does mean we can get back to playing our first team as everyone is back in their place. This is our best starting 11 as we have right now. However, match sharpness has dropped quite significantly, so I am concerned about this game coming up. The game starts with Saint Etienne. The game starts with that's not a penalty. It's never a penalty, ref. Marsa, you saw the ball go out of play for a throw-in. He obviously won the tackle fair and square. If this is a penalty, there we go. Thank you, referee. I think we're also the first team back in action today, apart from Nantes and Lorient. Nantes actually lost, to be fair, which is good for us because they're just behind us in the table. So if we win this game, it gets us away from them. Now, of course, we did lose to Reims earlier on this season on an episode, which obviously wasn't a whole lot of fun for us. Gaston, is that his name? Gautier's in, oh my word, Mitrovic, what the hell was that? Gautier, our former goalkeeper, he's in goal for them. Obviously, he got the last laugh last time, but Reims are still down in trouble this season. Their win is only they've won 2 games this season, and one of them was against us. That's frustrating. We need to make sure that does not happen again. But there's been 1 shot apiece so far. In fact, I think that effort we saw from Mitrovic before was counters across, because I'm sure a shot came in which led to a save, which then led to what he did. So that might have gone down as a cross, which is even worse for him because it was an attempted shot, I think, pretty much. In the meantime, Reims are looking to get themselves in front just before half-time, and around the area they do look dangerous as that ball goes just over the bar. So 0-0 at half-time, not a great half for us, particularly with 35% possession. What's going on right now? Thrash the arms, not good enough. Everyone seems fired up. And if we haven't scored a goal within 15 minutes, changes will need to be made. But worse still, we haven't even had a single shot. Now we've had another shot. We're up to 2 shots, but it wasn't on a highlight. Gonzalo Esteves gives the ball to Pablo Martinez. Vallejo, who's kept solid at the back for us this season, gets the ball forward as Koba, edge of the area, I think gives it off to Pablo Martinez at the last second. It's just wide of the mark. That's the best chance we've seen all game for us, but we need to make some changes right now. Mitrovic is playing terribly, so on comes Ahmed. Anan and Yakubu 6-6s, they could get changed, you know, but I'll leave them on for now. Belic is going to come off for Tommy Doyle. I think actually Pablo Martinez is going to come off for Busio. And Gonzalo on a 6.3 is worrying defensively, so Akeem, on you come, 4 changes at the same time here. We're also going to shout encourage, although maybe demand more might have been better because no one's reacted to that at all. But if we score a goal, that would be amazing, as Anan has broken the offside trap in the area. What was that? Why has he not crossed that? We are slowly creeping into the game, but I think it's time to bring Aziz Yakubu off and bring Brian Moreno on, which is really quite last ditch if that's the case. We'll go more attacking. I'm going to shout demands more. 15 minutes to go. If we don't win this game, it'll be so frustrating for us, but we have had a few games this season where we just, the reverse fixture, we slipped up there by losing to this team. We're now drawing to them, which is not great for us. We drew to Monaco in between episodes. That wasn't good. To Lens as well. That wasn't great. Now, obviously, you can't win every single game, but the games that we drew there, we weren't particularly good, particularly the Lens game. That was a tricky one for us. And right now, we aren't at our best, but we aren't conceding, which is, I guess it's good to keep some clean sheets as Boucy has been put through. Finds Moreno. Oh my word. That was the moment. Boucy has done well since coming on, actually. He's hit a purple patch of form towards the end of December before we had the winter break, and it's looking like he's carrying it on right now. But this was a poor game for us. If we concede now, throw the water bottle. I am not happy with that. And players look stressed. Ask me if I care. So Reims do the double over us, which is not ideal in the slightest, and we are going to struggle if we play the same way against Rennes in the next match. Luckily, Rennes draw to Toulouse, so they stay behind us on goal difference. Marseille have played 19 games. They must have lost, I think, because we're only a point behind them still. We're not in a title fight this season. That's Paris and Nice, although Nice are kind of dropping off a little bit right now, especially after drawing to a team in the relegation zone. But we are still in that fight for European football, and I want to be in that. Oh, and now Brian wants to start more games for us. Lad, did you not see the miss that you made in that previous game? Did you not see it? Can you be a squad player? He says yes, actually, which is quite nice. So he's very understanding in these meetings. But my word, he has no self-awareness. For the Rennes game, Fontaine is suspended, so we'll bring Vaclav back onto the pitch for him. Any other changes that I want to make? Not particularly. Maybe it's my fault for not playing these guys enough in the cup games, and that's why they've not got any match sharpness, and it's why we lost that previous game, and maybe why I won't do very well against Rennes here. But at the same time, I wanted to give our youngsters, maybe I should have played some friendlies. I don't know. Maybe I've been a bit stupid with all of that. But still, we live and learn. And right now we're learning by giving away. That was never a penalty again. Why is the referee even blowing for that? Gonzalo Esteves got his leg around. The ball is here. If he didn't win that challenge, the ball would not be there. So if this goes down as a penalty, I'll be so cross. No penalty. Thank you. It is nice actually to see VAR reversing some decisions for a change. That wasn't very common in previous versions of the game. But Rennes are looking to come forward again. They seem to be the stronger of the two teams right now. Maybe they played their players in the cup matches, got them all match sharp, and that's why they are better than us right now. We need to hold strong defensively though, and we do with that shot going over the bar. If we can limit teams to shooting from outside the area, that's good for me because it's not often that's going to happen as Koba brings the ball forward right now. We're also playing with a red ball right now. That must be the winter ball, but I remember someone in the comments complaining about that recently, and someone else commented saying you can change the ball to white. So I did that, but obviously it's not changed to white. So I don't know what's gone on there. It should. Actually, red-green colour blindness is a. We can't see the goal. If you are colourblind, this isn't a great game because the red-green colour blindness is a thing. But if you go to preferences here, and then where do we go now? Colour, or I think it's customize skin colours, and then look, standard ball colour white, winter ball colour white, and yet it's still red. So apologies if that is annoying you and you do a bit of red green. That's really bad actually for the colourblind people, but I promise you I am trying to make your lives easier. It's just apparently not doing anything. So I will report back to Football Manager about that because that is inconvenient. Contrary to popular belief, I do think of you guys a lot. I always want to make sure you get the best viewing experience. Anyway, we are still 1-0 down. We're still not doing anything much in this game, and I am regretting my decision not playing my senior players, or at least scheduling some friendlies over the winter break, because I'm going to blame us losing last game, and at the moment this game, on our lack of match sharpness. Don't worry though, we've only got PSG in the next game, so I'm sure we'll win that. As things stand actually, Rennes are overtaking us in the table. We drop down to 5th, which is not a good position to be in. If other teams like Nantes win, that actually drops us outside the European places, but Aziz has been brought down in the area. That looked to me more like a penalty, or a foul at least. It's just a question as to whether or not it was in the penalty area, because I think it was right on the edge. They've given a penalty. Okay, well that's handy. Aziz Yakubu Koba steps up for the penalty. Okay, I'll trust him. Obviously, he's on that for a reason. Koba steps up. Oh my God. Well, the revolution of the season, 2 years in a row, is revolutionising us into a 6th place team, as it's going to be standing after not win their game, I'm sure, and outside the European places. However, we have a chance to come forward. Mitrovic puts across to the far post, and Nan heads it across. Oh my word, it's not the best of moves from us there, really. Gonzalo Esteves in a lot of space, can put a ball in. Why are we so bad? I'm going to bring on our new loan players on the right wing and at centre-back, which I guess centre-back, why not? Renault just scored in the background. I don't even care at this stage. They're 2-0 up. Let's bring Busio on. It is going to VAR. Please be disallowed. Disallowed. I don't know what for. So Teati had the ball, gave it to Blas. Oh yeah, look, he's way offside. So it's still 1-0. That's fine by me. And actually, look at the match stats. I haven't even looked at those yet. 8 shots, a 1.23 XG. I guess that is the penalty though with all the XG. Outside of that, that probably means our XG is only about 0.4, so that's not great. But with 5 minutes to go, we could maybe rescue a draw, but Gonzalo Esteves gives the ball away. The plus side of this is these performances are surely putting off clubs from putting bids in for Fontan and for Esteves and for Belic. This might just actually keep the players at the club for the rest of the season because they've been so bad in these past few games. Maybe they're playing bad because they've got in their heads there could be a transfer and they're just not focused enough. I'm going to try and blame everything else other than me in this situation. But I don't think I'm at fault. This was working beautifully before maybe it's my fault for not playing the players in winter break to get them match sharp. But still, I don't like to play the blame game and I will not put the blame on me. But I will maybe put it on everyone else. Right, not happy with that one. We should have won the match based on the numbers. 2 losses in a row is not good. But we are approaching deadline day with no bids coming in for our players. So everyone else have played their games, not end up losing again. So they're just as bad as us right now, but it does relegate us down to 5th place in the table, 3 points away from Rennes, 4 away from Marseille. So if we don't get back to winning ways soon, it might be us v Nantes for 5th place. We are now at deadline day. We're not going to take part in it. I think we should get past this pretty quickly. Montpellier make a bid for Rayan Boukabida. I'd rather keep him for the future, so we are going to reject that. Although, £500,000 for a player that may not make it, because I don't think he's improved massively since season 1. Maybe that was a little bit silly to say no to. We've also got rid of loads of players from our under 18s. At the start of the video when we set them all for release, basically loads of clubs came in January and just offered £0 for all of them, so we just accepted all of them basically. So a lot of them have gone. Palace now make an offer for Fontan on deadline day. No. Not on deadline day. Bordeaux make a smaller offer for Rayan Boukabida. No, we'll reject that. And then Angers coming with an even smaller one. No. But that is deadline day done. So actually we kept our team pretty solid. If we can just recapture the form that we had earlier this season, we should be golden. So PSG up next, and I have reached 100 games in management. So far across those 99 games that we've played, we've won 54, only drawn 15 and lost 30. We've scored 177 goals, conceded 119, and I've got a 54% win ratio. We've sold a lot more players than we've bought in, but we've spent more than we've recuperated, which maybe has to change a little bit going forward. If we got slightly bigger bids coming in for Belic, we would have said yes. If we had scouted out some good left backs, we would have said yes to Fontaine, and that would have really put that money up quite a bit. Although we would have spent a lot of money to bring replacements in, so I don't know. Maybe what we need to do is just get one of our youngsters to be an amazing wonder kid and sell him for 100 million. Annoyingly, 2 of our best players, Marsa and Pablo Martinez, are suspended for this game, so Koulibaly comes on, and so does Gianluca Busio. We can bring Fontaine back on the pitch though, so that's a bonus for us. The pressure is all on PSG. What do we have to lose? Go out there and cause an upset. And no one has reacted to that at all. So this does not bode well. First highlight of the game is coming towards us as Mitrovic cuts inside into the centre circle, finds Busio in front of him who stands still and loses possession. Not a great start or look for him, but Belic does win the ball off Mbappe. In doing so, gives it away to Xavi Simons, who can put a ball back to Dembele. Dembele puts it across to Mbappe, who scores his 25th goal of the season. I think this could be a long game for us here. Deary me. To eventually overcome PSG is going to be so difficult. Genuinely, I think it could be easier to win the Champions League than beat PSG across a season because they're just so good. Saying that, we have had 5 shots to PSG's 2 shots. It's just that none of them have been on a highlight yet, as Koba's corner is sent all the way through to Marquinhos, who clears his lines. Right, if we don't deal with this properly, okay, we have done. Belic back to Etienne Green, good. He finds Koulibaly, who's playing okay. Obviously, a backup player right now for us, is being asked an awful lot to deal with the likes of Gonzalo Ramos, Mbappe, and Ousmane Dembele. An awful lot asked of him right now. But he's doing an all right job at the moment as he's got the ball. Can he find a ball forward over the top? No, he goes short to Mitrovic, who finds Fontan, who gets past his man. And Fontan puts a great cross in towards Aziz Yacoub, who's picked up a knock. We may take him off just to protect him. He can't win the header. And instead, PSG get from back to front really quickly. And Gonzalo Ramos cut to the cross to Xavi Simons, who hits the crossbar. Brian Moreno on you come. I don't like the look of that knock. And also Koba has picked up a knock as well. Seems to be unaffected, but that's risky. Let's bring on Arnie Meyer and maybe swap those. Leave it like that. You know what? Arnie hasn't played much this season and he hasn't kicked up a fuss. I quite like him. He seems to be quite a professional player in that regard. But I'd like him even more if he could score a goal to level things up against PSG right now. If we lose 3 games in a row 1-0, that is painful. In the meantime, Gonzalo Ramos is coming forward, and maybe PSG heard me say that, because if they score a second goal right now, as they almost do, it would be worse, but at least we wouldn't be losing it 1-0. We'll go a little bit more positive, in fact attacking actually, and we're going to press the wrong button. We're going to shout demand more as Arnie Meyer's free kick is cleared. And PSG are so good at this counter-attack, aren't they? They just get the ball in defence and they're so quick to get it forward, and we just can't seem to deal with the pace on the wings. But, you know, in fairness, Dembele is one of the fastest players in the game as his shot goes narrowly wide of the far post. Maybe we just push Busio forward here a little bit. Make him a shadow striker, for example. Brian Moreno becomes a pressing forward on attack. It's maybe a little bit late to make these changes, so let's bring Luon on the right wing because Anand's played terribly. And actually, why not Ahmed as well? Bring you on too, why not? Probably too little, too late in the grand scheme of things here. As the clock ticks down, we've not had the desired impact of these tactical changes. Left it a bit too late, really. And it's 3 games in a row in the league that we lose 1-0. Koba out for a week, Aziz Yacoub out for a few days, not ideal. And now we have to find out how other clubs get on, and if teams around us win, it's not a good look for us. Thankfully, Nantes lose again, this time 4-0 to Nice, but Rennes beat Angers, so they move up the table past Marseille, who have played... They just haven't played on... Oh, they did. They lost 2-1 to Toulouse. Okay. So it leaves us 4 points behind Marseille, but 6 points now behind Rennes. There's still 13 games to go this season, and we have a few crucial ones. Marseille's pretty crucial soon, but that won't be on an episode. We'll probably come back for a Nantes game next time out, actually, and we could finish off the season with Nice the episode after that. So a video of ups and downs today, but we've certainly ended on a down. Fingers crossed we can get our mojo back in time for next episode.